All right, breaking this one down with our guy Ryan Wilson, who joins us alongside Bryant McFadden here in studio. Gentlemen, it is never a normal game when these two get together, and finally, B-Mac, the Chargers find themselves on the right side of the conversation when it's all said and done. Talk to me about the value in that, finally getting in one of these crazy ones and ending up on the right side.
Well, good teams find a way to win ball games. Good teams that have playoff aspirations find a way to win close ball games. That was the issue for the Chargers a year ago. Regardless of why you feel like they couldn't finish the deal, they didn't get the job done. So being able to do that today against a divisional foe, a team that I believe have playoff aspirations in the Raiders, was a thing of beauty. And I can tell you this much: the stars were out there in La La Land today. Justin Herbert, outstanding day, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And the big man they were able to acquire during the offseason, Khalil Mack. You talk about being a closer. He was able to start the game on fire for the Chargers, close the game for them as well, totaling 3 sacks. As a team, they had 5 sacks today on Derek Carr, so they were able to dominate at the line of scrimmage, especially on the defensive side.
B-Mac, I was thinking about you 7.5 minutes ago in the final quarter. The Chargers were at 24-13, 4th and 5 from the 31-yard line to plus 31. And your guy, Brandon Staley, kicked a field goal. What happened? I know you don't like them going for it on 4th down.
He's learning.
But what happened there in B-Mac? Darren Waller got involved. Davante Adams caught that touchdown pass, and then things got a little sticky. And I wonder if people got in his ear, or if he thought over the offseason that maybe I need to be a little less crazy on going for it in 4th and 5. And now he'll be like, you know what? I can't trust my kicker. I'm going for it. You talked about all the playmakers they have, starting with Justin Herbert. And I wonder if that was in the back of his mind at the time, and I wonder if he'll go back to his crazy ways going forward.
We are going to stay locked in on this game, but it begs the larger question of this division. We will see the Broncos in prime time, but the Chiefs run it up. The Chargers look fantastic. The Raiders, while they did have their issues here on Sunday, still found moments, still found their guys, still got to the top target, B-Mac. Is this, in your eyes, the most closely contested and difficult division in football, and will it continue to be in the weeks to come?
No question. Yeah. I feel like if the AFC West just played each other every week, it's must-see TV based on the competitive nature they have within their division, based on the quarterback star power they have in their division, and just how good all the teams are in their division, how good they are. So me personally, seeing what we saw today, this is going to be a weekly experience when you see AFC West on AFC West type matchups in their division.
Ryan, how do you find value here on the Raiders side? Obviously, Davante Adams looked just like himself, even without the 2-time reigning MVP throwing him the rock. If you're looking for silver linings here on the Vegas side, what are they?
Derek Carr is not going to make these kind of mistakes each and every week, and I think Josh McDaniels understands that, and Derek Carr understands it. I don't know if he was feeling the pressure. Perhaps it was the fact that the Chargers defense, we talk all the time about that offense, that Chargers defense is legit. B-Mac mentioned Khalil Mack earlier, but on the back end, Drew Tranquill had the interception. Bryce Callahan had an interception. Asante Samuel Jr., I think he went to Florida State. He had an interception as well. So those are things you can hang your hat on and say we can build on this. There are also issues along the offensive line for the Raiders. Again, you're going up a really good front against a really good front four in Los Angeles. But I think Derek Carr has a lot to take away from the fact that Davante Adams is not out there. I guarantee you Aaron Rodgers wish he still had Adams on his team. Darren Waller balled out when he had opportunities. Hunter Renfrow didn't get involved, and he will certainly get involved as the season progresses. And I think this is something to build on. And we forget this Raiders team went to the playoffs last year. The issue, and as you guys just talked about, they're in the AFC West. I wonder how many first-round draft picks Josh McDaniels will give up to get traded to the AFC South, because they'd win that thing in a landslide.
And this did all happen without the services of Keenan Allen for the majority of this game. Was out to a torrid start there with 4 receptions for 66 yards. Did leave with some soft tissue issues. Still, they come away with the win. And I want to talk about premier pass catchers because they were eaten here on Sunday, whether it be Justin Jefferson, Davante Adams, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, and what we saw there on Thursday, B-Mac. We know who these guys are. We know what they bring to the table, and still they get theirs. You've lined up against some premier pass catchers in the past. What's it like knowing that that guy across from you, no matter what you do, is still going to get to his numbers?
Yeah, you got to hold your breath because they're going to get them the ball. They're going to try to get them their attempts, and that's what we saw today from Davante. He had 17 targets. 17 targets. You're talking about one of the best in the world when it comes to running routes and catching passes, getting 17 opportunities, and he came down with 10 of those said opportunities. So he's great. I mean, the way he runs his routes, the way he's able to manipulate coverages and create separation, and just a sure-handed guy. That touchdown he caught was with his fingertips, literally, being able to bring it down while being draped by a defender. So you talk about Devontae, you talked about Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson. The way they utilize their individual talent is one thing, but then the way their offensive coordinators and their play callers, they're able to scheme them to be in positions to be open is another thing, and that's what we're seeing for some of these prolific wide receivers.
No, that's exactly right. And the thing is, B-Mac, and you know this starts at the high school level. Like, this is trickled down to the high school ball. You go watch the wide receivers play. They're ready when they get to these big-time programs in college, and now they're more ready than ever when they get to the NFL. There's no 1 or 2 or 3 year waiting period. You throw them out there, and you let them make plays. We saw that across the league. Saw it with Justin Jefferson in his first year. We saw it last year with Jamar Chase. Both those guys balled out today and were factors in their teams, although Justin Jefferson, they won the football game. The Bengals struggled there at the end. But this is an example of just the evolution of this football, of how football is going, starting with the high school game, transferring it to the college, and now we're seeing it day in and day out in the NFL.
All right, let's get to the here and now. Once again, the Chargers surviving this late surge by Las Vegas. Film room files. Ryan Wilson, take me into either locker room tomorrow. What are they going to be picking apart in the film room? Where do either of these teams need to get better? You take dealer's choice here, and B-Mac's going to take the other side.
Okay, I'll start with my guy, Brandon Staley, and I do wonder if he's going to go back to the old playbook about when to go for it on 4th down, because that could have cost them the football game. They got fortuitous at the end there. The Raiders stressed a little bit at the end and lost the ball on the final series, because everything else, while not necessarily flawless, was a great start to the season. We've seen mistakes across the NFL in week 1, and that's to be expected, but I think there's a lot of positives to take away if you're Brandon Staley, if you're Justin Herbert, doing most of that without Keenan Allen. The defense looked really good at spurts, perhaps doing a little better job tackling in the back end in bigger moments. But all in all, I think it's an A- worst case performance, and that's if you're a tough grader for the Chargers. And I just wonder about the game clock and the game management situation later, if Brandon Staley will revisit that and perhaps take a different tack going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if that'll come back to bite them at any point throughout the season as it has in the past. All right, B-Mac, you got the laser pointer in the Raiders room. What are we highlighting early on? Highlighting
the Raiders' inability to put pressure on Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I just talked about how consistent the pass rushers were for the Chargers, being in the backfield, sacking Derek Carr 5 times. Guess how many sacks the Raiders had today? 0. That's not good. When you go out and you pay Max Crosby, when you go out and you bring in Chandler Jones, a guy who's been known to be a double-digit sack guy year in and year out when he's been healthy, to create 0 sacks. That's a no-no. You're playing in a division where you cannot afford to not be sacking the quarterback. The AFC West, that is a quarterback's division. You got Russell Wilson, curly hair Russell Wilson twice. You got a grown man who looks like a little boy in Justin Herbert, who you see twice. Then you got money Pat Mahomes, who you see twice. The name of the game in that division defensively is put pressure on quarterbacks and sack them. Find a way to get home. The home is in the backfield. Coaches should always tell our defensive linemen, I need some guys who want to get home. We all want to go home at some point in time. If you don't want to go home, you're playing the wrong game. They got to find some edge rushers, and they have them. They just didn't get home today. But that has to be the storyline defensively. When you talk about putting that red dot on the monitor, we got to find some guys to get home.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.